So then we would like to tell you that we will have, after the next presentation, there will be with Anker Mardal, from who is data responsible at Nordic Folkecenter for Renewable Energy at the test center. And after the break, we are having two presentations coming in from Spain. One is about power production comparison on a certified SVT in a complex terrain and on a rooftop. And that will be with Luis Caño. And the second one will be a lesson learned from the small wind turbine optimization and market penetration, and that will be with Luis Arabas. Both of them are from CMAT in Spain. But please, Anker Mardal, are you ready? Hello, Anker Mardal.
Yes.
You are there.
Morten.
Well, the word is yours.
Thank you, Morten. And I'm Anker Mardal, and I work as for the technical part of collecting data and practical things here around the test field. And we got 2 places. But I will start to show a short video. Oh, so I have to start to share screen. Yes, and yeah, yes, and full screen. Yes, and we start here. And we have a short video telling about our new test field. And where you can see what we can help you with. Yes, and maybe I forgot to put sound on. There we go out later, and then I will show you the wind turbines we are running with up here. Yes, we use Orbital 2.
Beautiful system.
Thank you. Oh, okay. We'll put the sound on.
You need to share the audio.
Okay. It's always difficult to know. Yes. And let's take this one down. Stop sharing window. Okay. We try again. And now I would share this one. And let's see from the start. Come on. Now it works again. I hope so. I hope people can hear me still. The status of testing. What are we testing at our test field right now? We have a lot of, we have 2 places. Now I'm sitting here at the Hundborg, the new test facility we got here, but we still need to use the old test field too, because we have too many wind turbines right now we're testing. That's the positive things. We start from the low end. This one we have been showed before at this conference. It's a Chinese wind turbine where we have put some Tunisia have put blade from a Upegate wind turbine on, and it's improved very much because lower noise than the Chinese blade and a lot more production. But it's not the production we working for here. It's low wind. A lot of people from Africa, etc., talk about how to have light. And a lot of places they say, oh, we have a lot of wind. Okay, what is a lot of wind? 3 meters per second, maybe 2.5 meters per second. And if it's a heavy storm, it's almost 4 meters. So instead of running the wind turbine at where it's designed for, then they keep running a 12-volt wind turbine as low as a 3 or 4 volt. Then we have a production with low wind speed and no noise, and we keep it low running. And then we have light. We have a lot of hours on it now, and it's placed low. So yes, it's another way to look at energy on. And as a micro wind turbine, you can calculate what is the swept area, how much energy do we need to harvest of 2 or 2.5 meters. The next size is a grid tied from Thorstein. It's a leading edge 600 watt, and it's optimized for grid production with an inverter. But a lot of the small wind turbines, when they start, they take the wind turbine and an inverter and think everything is okay. But to have it run properly and not speed up and down, you need a dump load controlling. And here we use standard components. We have the switch in where we can short circuit to break the wind turbine. We got a rectifier. And here, instead of battery, we have a capacitor. And then we have we use this charger as a dump controlling. Then we can run the inverters, the wind turbine stable. And after that, we can put a inverter on, and it works pretty good. And we always say small wind turbine do not produce any power. No, it depends what you need it for. Maybe it's not the best way to use it for grid connection. But here you can see how much this one has produced. I use a simple for smartphones ACM 6000 data logging, but it's a clever, it's a two-way direction, so I have to make a round so I can measure the power the right way. It only count the one way. But here we can see when I put it on in December, it had produced 25 kilowatt hour for 1 month, and January a little more wind. And we can see it's, if we take the average of the wind turbine, it's approximately 1 kilowatt hour per day. And we can say if you want to sell it, it's nothing. But if you look at the loose, you can see this one is after the inverter and the loose. So if we look at it in another way, you have a system. It's what the output is. So we have a loose, so it can produce more than 1 kilowatt per hour. The wind turbine is only 1.5 square meters around, and it's run very good. The next one, yes, that's the Upegate. We have it for a long period at the Folkecenter, and it's more for heating now. Maybe a battery charger. We have an idea to put it on grid, but it's a long test, and it's stable as yes. And then we got our Uni 5 kilowatt wind turbine or 6 kilowatt wind turbine. We have used it for testing different blades, but now it's only for running a production. A little, but it's just a standard Olsen blade on it. And then we got a new wind turbine for testing. It's Otto's wind turbine, so it's quite interesting. So it's a new one. I cannot say anything because now it's custom. So it's a real test and put it up. And the next size Now we have a 15 kilowatt. Before it was a 5 kilowatt. Now we are on a 15, 20 kilowatt, and it was where Anker from Turbines talk about for a couple of hours ago, where they tested with a hybrid solution with a battery, and it's to test it as a stable system, so it's it can be sent out. Keep it simple, but here there's a lot more to take care of what data we have to collect, because it's one thing is the wind turbine, another thing is the hybrid, and a third thing is the PV, and then the load, so we can set in more. And yeah, then we have the HS Wind Viking 25, where we have to make some tests on now. We have to collect data, and from Ulrika. So yes, and then we have a joint blade, 65 kilowatt, where we got the machinery at the test center. It's a good old Vestas from 1985, and yeah, Niels, now you are proud because it's upgraded for orbital controller, because it was 2 generator before, and standard Vestas would not allow to we could adjust. And between 2 generator, and the next thing was it was not optimized for the new grid condition, so it still thought we got 380 volt in the plug. Yeah, and then we got from Wind4, we have tested a 3-blade solution. The other one was a 12-blade from joint blade, and yeah, we have some performance tests, sound test on this one too. And what do we have for compare? The different thing is here we can have a different wind turbine for testing. We are allowed to put up a non-approved wind turbine, and we have the measuring tower, and we have the calibrated equipment where we collect the data, so we can store the data and send it for the customer, or even for the certification. And here is the second tower. All sensor has a certificate, and it's new, and there's take a test and controlling of the line where is the data come from, so it's really stable. And here and back on the Ydby, we have 2 towers who tested too, so we are quite busy. And what is has just an example what we collect of data when we have to send it for approval certification. Then we have it's the data has to be sampled. Now we are small wind less than every 2 seconds, but every second is okay. But it has to be stored in 1 minute's data. So we need the average power, the standard deviation, minimum and maximum power, and we have the main wind where we can see it's in the top of the tower, and then we have a second wind where it's a little lower. It's 1.8 meter lower, and we can see it's a little lower in wind speed, but it's a controlling, and we can see the standard deviation and minimum maximum, and we can follow, so we know we can trust the data from the wind. And the direction, we both have the sinus and the cosinus, so we don't have the problem about south or north, and we can see how much it's how stable the wind is. And we got the RPM from the generator. Then we got the temperature. The temperature it's measured in the top of the tower. The pressure, yes, is on the level from the wind turbine, and then we have the moisture. And then I have the same sample, how many times we have sample every minute. And weather data we sample too, and weather data is for metro data. It's 3 seconds data, so we can because it's for metro. It's different if we need data from to approve a wind turbine or some metro data or it's electric. So our customer ask for different kind of data. So it's yes. So I have more than just one thing to collect the data. And yes, now I think I'm finished with this one. And then I would switch for the phone, and then I would try to go out again. So if I can do that, I hope I still have some time, else Morten, you have to tell me. Yes, down with this one, and yes.
Yes, Anker, we're having about 5 minutes left, and if there should be space for questions, you should just be aware of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I'm supposed to have a video on now, Morten. I don't know if it's working.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and it's every time how to switch the camera. Yes, there. It's easier. Our test field is placed where we cannot test from directly from north. Yes, a durations test, we have all wind directions, but the way the blades or the wind turbine are placed, we only have the way to, yes, we have a road here. We only can test from the wind from east, but we have a nice flat terrain, because terrain is a problem, because if it's uphill obstacles, it could be an issue. And the next thing is the other direction, direct from west. We have a very nice flat terrain too. So yes, the G wind turbine. You just tell me, Morten, and if there is anyone.
Yes. Okay, should we ask for questions, Anker?
Yes. Do it. I just
Okay,
walk around.
are there any questions for Anker? It seems that maybe people just want to think a bit about it, and Anker will also be available when we have the networking about 3 o'clock, or before 3 o'clock it will start up. So if not anymore right now, then I think that we should take a short break at 1/4 and meet here again 2:05 or 14:05 Central European time. That means in 1/4 from now. See you then.